Hey everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Mallory, a mom to 2 under 2, military wife and registered nurse. This video is my 20-week pregnancy update and also gender reveal video. So if that interests you, make sure to stick around. Before we get into the content, I just want to say that if you are new, welcome. If you enjoy videos like this or videos about how to have a healthy pregnancy and a healthy baby, cooking videos, baby product reviews, then this is the channel for you. Hit the subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss any more of my videos. So the last pregnancy update that I gave was when I was at the end of my first trimester. So I had completed week 12, I was going into week 13. And if you're new, this is my second pregnancy. We have one baby already. His name is Max and he's 14 months old. And when this baby is born, Max will be 19 months. And I am now halfway through this pregnancy. I'm 20 weeks. I can't believe it. On one hand, it's kind of gone slow. I don't know, it just feels like I've been pregnant for a long time. But on the other hand, it's like, whoa, I'm halfway through this pregnancy already. Overall, if I could just boil everything down to just one point, is that the second trimester so far has been great, and it's been almost just like with Max. And also planning for our move, which I will talk about. I could end the video there, but that would be boring and you guys want to know more details. So let's get into the details. Let's do symptoms first. So weeks 13 to 20 symptoms. The second trimester is when morning sickness typically goes away for me. I still dealt with the gagging sensation, but recently in recent weeks, it's been very mild and sometimes non-existent. So that's great. My energy has been near normal, which with Max at this point in pregnancy, I was basically like that too. Earlier in the second trimester, like when it first started, I still was relying on naps a little bit, but I think it was around, week 16, I've barely taken any naps. So like for the past month, I haven't napped much. I did nap yesterday. Another symptom that was positive in the first trimester was that my body was able to tolerate eating eggs. Normally, I have issues with eggs. It's the whites mostly. I get really bad gas. In my first trimester, and this was the same with Max, I was able to tolerate eggs. I was eating scrambled eggs. I was eating baked goods with eggs in them. And then all of a sudden, it was like around week 16 to 17-ish, like within the past month, all of a sudden, I started getting gas from eating eggs. Like I had scrambled eggs one morning and yeah, so I'm avoiding eggs again. Another negative symptom is that I have dealt with headaches pretty frequently. Not anymore. They seem to really have lessened in the past couple of weeks, but for there, like maybe around, I noted in week 16, that was like a kind of a problem week. I noted in week 16 in my journal that the headaches were just really bad. I would wake up with a headache almost every day. And then even during the day, I would sometimes get a headache, and I'm not a headache type of person. Like outside of pregnancy, I know that some people just are prone to headaches for some reason, and I'm not one of those people. But I also struggled with this with Max around the same time. So it's just something that my body deals with. Like I said, my energy has been amazing, but if I do push myself too much physically, like mopping the floor, for example, I do start to get some lower belly aches and just tightness. And like the past week, I have noticed a little bit of tightness in my belly, like kind of over the top. Not Braxton Hicks contractions. I have not had one of those. I think with Max, I had my first one at like 20 weeks. But I have not had a true Braxton Hicks yet, but just slight tightness. My belly doesn't feel tight to the touch. It feels tight like inside. So I can't overdo it. I have had a little bit of round ligament pain sometimes, but it hasn't been horrible. So the aches and pains are really minimal, except for the headaches that I had. Regarding mood, mood can really fluctuate with pregnancy. Overall, I do feel better than I did postpartum with Max. Like, postpartum was so hard, and I do intend to do a video about preparing for postpartum the second time around, but I have had more anxiety with this within this pregnancy than with Max. It's just something I have to deal with, and it does get mentally exhausting sometimes. But on a high note, baby is definitely moving. I have been feeling the baby. I haven't said the gender yet, but we do know. I've felt the baby moving more frequently within the past week or so. Not as strong as Max. I do know that the placenta is posterior, because I was kind of wondering like, oh, maybe the placenta is anterior, and so that's why I'm not feeling as much, but it's posterior. So maybe this baby is not quite as active as Max was. I have had no cravings or aversions this entire second trimester, except week 19, I was craving junky food, like salty food, particularly potato chips. And I did get into that craving. I found a couple different chip options that were a little on the healthier side, but still like satisfied that craving. So I have not been doing regular belly measurements or weight checks, but at week 17, I decided to measure my belly, and I was actually measuring 1 inch larger than with Max. However, I have not gained as much weight with this baby as with Max, at least at this point. All right, let's talk about doctor's appointments. So I had my third OB appointment at week 14 and my fourth appointment at week 18. I basically noted nothing about my appointments because they're so uneventful. Again, I know I'm a broken record. 2/3 of my pregnancy with Max was in Germany, and in Germany, they give you an ultrasound every single appointment. So I had 7 ultrasounds with him. My next appointment will be next week, so I'll be almost 22 weeks, and then the appointment after that at 26 weeks will be my glucose tolerance test. So I hope I pass again. Now, the most exciting appointment that I had is that I had the anatomy scan just a few days ago. I was referred out to a place that specifically does prenatal diagnostics, so it wasn't at my doctor's office. But my sonographer was really great. The appointment was about 45 minutes. Again, because of restrictions, Mark was not allowed to come, but he was allowed to FaceTime. We weren't allowed to film it, but he could FaceTime, so that was nice. So we found out the gender, and I'm gonna insert a clip of the gender reveal with our family and friends, and you guys can find out what the baby is. Let's do a countdown. Okay, 3, 2, 1. It's a woo! It's a boy! Yay! Max, yay! Look, Max! All right, so yes, baby is a boy again. It's gonna be crazy, but it's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited that Max has a little brother. Baby boy was measuring about 12 ounces. He was measuring 1 day ahead of my doctor's due date. I don't think he's gonna change my due date for that, but just by measurement, he was measuring a day ahead. So by my calculations, based on my chart, I calculated my due date to be August 8th, but my doctor, based on last menstrual period, calculated it to be the 5th of August. So since baby was basically measuring closer to my doctor's due date, I'm switching, for just my purposes, my due date to August 5th. So my weeks turn over on Thursdays now instead of Sundays. During the ultrasound, baby was moving around the whole time. He had his hands up by his face, just like Max. He looks like Max in the 3D and the 2D, like the profile picture. He has like the same upper lip, the same nose. It's so cute. And at one point he was even opening his mouth and we could see his tongue moving. It was so cool. So everything looked normal. A doctor examined the images after the ultrasound. They had an in-house doctor, and she said everything looked normal and there was no reason for me to come back for additional scans. That will probably be my last ultrasound unless I can hopefully get an ultrasound in the 3rd trimester. I'm planning on asking my doctor either here or where we're moving next if I can get an ultrasound later in the 3rd trimester to check baby's positioning, just because I have a history of having a breech baby. We don't know why. I want to get eyes on him before we get close to birth. All right, so my last category for this update is baby plans. So we have started buying the gear that we need for baby and also for Max, just because baby boy is going to be getting Max's baby stuff. So there's only a few like major things that we needed to get. One of those was getting a convertible car seat for Max, because obviously the baby is going to need the infant car seat and Max is going to grow out of it soon anyway. So we bought the Maxi Cozy Priya Max. It's either Priya Max or Max Priya 3-in-1 convertible seat. And it's awesome because it will last until it'll last through being a booster seat. So it's the only car seat that Max will ever need until he can sit like in the normal seat in the car. So we paid about $205 for it because it was on sale, and then it was an additional 10% off. And then I had $50 in credits from albibaby.com. The list price is like normally over $300, so it was a great deal. Another thing we did was list the Nuna Mix stroller for sale. If you guys are old, subscribers and watched my videos before, you know that we loved the Nuna Mix stroller, and I have a review video on it. It's a very popular video. So if you're looking at single strollers, I highly recommend the Nuna Mix. But because the boys are so close in age, I thought that it would be most practical to have a double stroller. So I sold the Nuna Mix for $280, and then we bought a double stroller, and I went with the Cybex Gazelle S, and I'm so pleased with it. I filmed an unboxing video after baby is born and we've used it as a double. I will do a review video on it, but so far it is a beautiful, so functional piece of equipment. So as far as price goes with that, normally the Cybex Gazelle as a double stroller, so with the second seat, is $899.99. But we paid a total of about $301 out of pocket. We had $200 in gift money. We had the $280 from selling the Nuna, and then I had $5 in Albie Baby credit, and then the stroller and the second seat were 20% off. So with all of those things combined, it was only $301 out of pocket for us, which I think is a steal of a deal for a double stroller, because those things, I mean, this is not even the most expensive one you can get. Those were the two big purchases that we needed to make. I'm looking over there because I'm looking at the stroller, the convertible car seat and the double stroller. We do need to get a mattress, a twin mattress for Max, and a toddler bed. We're like almost set. Oh, also I bought a second diaper pail for $10. It was from a neighbor who was moving and they didn't need it anymore. And it's almost exactly like the one I have for Max, which is like $60 brand new. So I just thought it would be more practical because they will both be in diapers at the same time for a little while. I did mention moving. In my first trimester update, I said we did not know yet where we were going, but we do know now, and we are moving to Kansas. So I really should do a video about a little more military life focused, but basically we're moving to Kansas. We are buying our first house, which is super exciting. It's a new build, so it's still under construction. We've been able to choose stuff for it, kind of customize it. We know the exact layout, so I'm like starting to nest in my head about, moving in. I also got the urge one day to inventory all of my essential oils because I have a lot and I was starting to lose track of which ones I have. So I did that. I made spreadsheets tracking everything, and I washed a bunch of old bottles that, you make your own blends in. So that was fun. And then just doing plans for like gardening in Kansas at our new house, and just making plans on how to be more self-sustained as a family and be like to not specifically not having to rely on the US food supply as much. We see how it was this past year and things running out, prices going up. So I just want to have more of that homesteader mentality, and I really should do a video just on this too. Doing more gardening. We're going to get honeybees, so that's going to be a new journey in our life. I will definitely be vlogging about beekeeping, trying to produce our own stuff, but I mean, we can't do it all obviously, but just being very intentional on where we spend our money, if that makes sense. And finally, the final thing I did to prepare for baby the past couple of months was I researched VBAC friendly hospitals and doctors in the area where we're moving to in Kansas. So VBAC stands for vaginal birth after cesarean, and I really want to go for a VBAC. There's many reasons. I will do a video on it. But I have identified the hospital and the group of doctors that I want to work with. It's right in the town that we're going to be living in. I did call around to some other hospitals, and I even called a birth center that was about an hour away, because I was starting to consider like, well, maybe I do want to do a birth center birth. I don't want to do a home birth, but I would be okay with a birth center. But unfortunately, at least in that area, they are prohibited from doing VBACs at the birth center. So that was kind of a bummer. I was kind of disappointed when I learned that, because I was really starting to consider a birth center birth. So it has to be in the hospital. And I plan on interviewing whatever doctors are available to deliver in August, near the end of April sometime. So, because I really want to pick somebody that's going to work well with me, that we can work well together as a team. So I will definitely update you guys on that. By the time I do my second trimester update, I should have the results of those interviews. All right, so that's it. This is an extremely long video, but I had a lot to share, of course, finding out that baby is a boy was super exciting. By the time the second trimester ends, we will be about 1 month away from leaving California. So I'll be in my 34th week about when we move. So that's exciting, and I'm definitely taking you guys along for the ride of moving when I'm massively pregnant. Even more massively pregnant than with Max. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you're in your second trimester or coming up on your second trimester and just wondering what to expect, I hope this was helpful and interesting. So again, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the thumbs up if you liked this video. And I will be bringing you guys more, like I mentioned, about like gardening, beekeeping, VBACs, postpartum mental health, moving while pregnant. Like, there's a lot of content to talk about, plus cooking videos. Keep an eye out for that. In the meantime, I hope you all have a great day. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.